Hi everybody, this is Mr. Yoder. This is my fourth try recording this video. I keep making mistakes on silly things and then it just flusters me and I can't think anymore. So this is attempt number 4 on this video for me. You guys won't see all my previous attempts, just know they are silly mistakes and I will try not to make them again on this attempt because it's getting late and I don't want to be doing this all night. So this is lesson 11.2. We're going to do the first half of lesson 11.2 today. We're going to wrap it up on Friday. So our lesson today is to divide polynomials. Problem 1 here is dividing by a monomial. So we've got this trinomial right here that we want to divide by this monomial. So we've got 9x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15x, and then each of these terms are getting divided by 3x squared. So you could put this all over 3x squared, or you could just do each individual term divided by 3x squared, which is what I'm going to do. 3x squared divided by 3x squared. Okay, so now when we are dividing variables with exponents, remember, when you are dividing powers with the same base, you keep the base of x, but you subtract the exponent. So this first one, you're going to do 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and then x cubed divided by x squared is x to the 3 minus 2, which is x to the first power, right? So this first one's going to be 3x. Next, we've got negative 6x squared divided by 3x squared. Well, negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2, and then x squared divided by x squared is just 1. Okay, and then here we've got 15 divided by 3, which is 5, and then x divided by x squared. Remember, this is x to the first divided by x squared, so it's going to be x to the 1 minus 2, which is x to the negative 1. Remember, x to the negative 1 we need to rewrite as 1 over x to the positive 1. Okay, so this is going to be, this last term is going to be 5 times 1 over x, or 5 over x, right? Since it's 5 times 1 over x, we can just rewrite it as 5 over x. All right, got through the problem that I made so many silly mistakes on. Okay, so 3x minus 2 plus 5 over x then is our final result. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and see if you can try each of these on your own, and then pause the video, try them each on your own, and then come back here and I'll go through each of these with you. Alright, I'm actually not going to go through each of them. Maybe I'll go through A and C with you. How about that? So we're going to do 4a cubed plus 10a squared plus 3a. And since it's divided by 2a squared, I'm going to divide each one by 2a squared. 2a squared, 2a squared. Okay, so 4a cubed divided by 2a squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2. A cubed divided by a squared is going to be a. So we've got 2a for our first term. Then we've got plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. A squared divided by a squared is 1. So that's just going to be 5. And then last we've got 3 divided by 2, which is just 3 over 2. And then here we've got a to the first divided by a squared. So a to the 1 minus 2 is a to the negative 1, which is 1 over a. So our a needs to go on the bottom of this fraction. Since we already have a fraction, it makes it easy. The a goes on the bottom with the 2. So this is our result. 2a plus 5 plus 3 over 2a. Okay? All right, let's do one more. Let's do C. I've got 12c to the 4th plus 18c squared plus 9c. Each of these now is divided by 6c. Okay, so 12 divided by 6 gives us 2. C to the 4th divided by c is c cubed. Okay, Then 18 divided by 6 is a positive 3. C squared divided by C is C. And then we've got 9 over 6. That can actually reduce to 3 over 2. And then C to the first divided by C to the first is, I guess it's just 1, right? So then this then is our final result. Okay? All right. Problem 2, dividing by a binomial. So this makes it a little bit more complicated. So we've got 3d squared minus 4d plus 13 divided by d plus 3. Now here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do this with long division. Okay, so I'm going to write the trinomial here inside this little division sign, and then the d plus 3 outside. Okay, so first we're going to divide 3d squared, this first term, we're going to divide this by the d. Okay, so we're going to divide it by the d. How many times does d go into 3d squared? Well, d goes into it 3d times, right? So this is like 1d, right? The 1 goes into the 3 times. The d goes into the d squared d times. And what we're going to do is we're going to write that in this spot right here. Okay? So 3d goes right there. Okay, so now here's how it works. 3d now, we're going to multiply this out. 3d times d is 3d squared. And then 3d times 3 is a positive 9d, which is right here. Okay? And now we subtract. So these cancel out. And now negative 4d, minus 9d, we're subtracting here, right? Negative 4d minus 9d then is negative 13d. Okay? And then we drop down the positive 13. Okay, so here's what it should look like. Now again, we want to look at the d and determine how many times it goes into negative 13d. Okay, well, it goes into it negative 13 times, right? So 1 goes into negative 13 times. D goes into D once. So it's going to be negative 13 up here, and now we multiply. So negative 13 times D is negative 13D. Negative 13 times 3 is negative 39. Okay, and then we're going to subtract. So these cancel out. 13 minus negative 39 is like plus a positive 39. So this is actually going to be 52, I believe. Okay. Now, this is going to be 52, right? Now, here's how we do it. When we have a remainder, we've got a remainder of 52. We're actually going to add that to the end over this part that we're dividing by. So it's going to be 52 over d plus 3. Okay. So your final answer then, we've got the 3d minus 13 that we have here, but since we have a remainder of 52, we're going to put that at the end over the part that we're dividing by, d plus 3, which is our remainder. So our remainder is 52 over d plus 3. Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to try this on your own then. This might be a little bit more complicated than the first one, okay? But go ahead and see if you can just do it on your own. See how you do. And then I'll go over the answer with you here in a second. Okay, so hopefully you paused it. We're going to go through the answer together now. 2m squared minus m minus 3. And then as a division bar, we've got m plus 1. So first, we want to look, how many times does m go into 2m squared? Well, this is like a 1m, right? So it goes into 2m once, or it goes into 2 once. Remember, we're going to write that here, or sorry, it goes in twice, right? So 2, and then 1, or m goes into m squared m times, right? So 2 times 1 is 2, m times m is m squared. So if we multiply this then, this becomes 2m squared. Now we need to multiply it times the 1, which is a positive 2m. Now we subtract. These cancel out. Negative 1m minus 2m is going to be a negative 3m. And then we drop down the minus 3. Now how many times does 1m go into negative 3m? Well, 1 goes into negative 3 times. M goes into m once. Now we're going to multiply this. So 3 times 1m is, sorry, this negative 3 goes times negative, or bleh, flip-flopping my words here. Negative 3 times 1m is negative 3m. And then negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. Okay, these cancel out. And then negative 3 minus negative 3 is 0. So we actually don't have a remainder here. So our answer then is just 2m minus 3. Now what would we do if we did have a remainder here? Let's say I know we don't. Let's say we have a remainder of 2. If we had a remainder of 2, then you would add it at the end, plus 2 over m plus 1. But we don't have one, so we don't have to do that. Okay. All right, and that's it for today. Okay, kind of short. Okay, so there's no assignment for today. Our assignment will be after the lesson on Friday once we finish the lesson. Okay, now I can't say we'll always do it this way. Okay, the first half of the lesson, some days I might give you a short assignment after the first part. Okay, usually I think all the lessons in this chapter are going to have 2 parts to them. So we'll do the first half one day, the second half the next day. Okay, you'll always have an assignment after the second half. Sometimes you'll have an assignment after the first half. Sometimes you won't. I haven't decided how it's going to work yet, but you don't have an assignment for today. Okay, and also the reminder, another Q&A session for you guys will be on Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. The plan is to do that every Friday, so just keep that in mind. I will send out an invite to everybody around 1 o'clock on Friday. If you can make it, great. If not, no big deal. But if you have any questions, that's the time to ask questions, or just come and say hi. I had a couple of people just come to say hi and see how I was doing. It was nice to catch up with a couple of you. So hopefully you guys have a good day, and we will see you guys on Friday. See you guys.